I think it's the same story for both of these teams, isn't it? Finding a way to score more goals. West Brom looking in real trouble, though, yet to win away from home and in that bottom three. But for Wolves, is it too simplistic to say their struggles this season, Glenn, have come simply from the fact that they lost their main striker, Raul Jimenez?
It is simple. It is a simple one. But I've got to say, as a football man, I look at the Wolves, they are not the same team without him. And that's not even if he's playing, if he's playing indifferent, he's not playing so well. It's the focal point. They haven't got that. The young lad Silva isn't a centre forward like that. They haven't got anyone on their books that to replace him. Maybe Nuno should have thought about that a little bit at the beginning of the season.
Jota moving away.
Yeah, Jota, obviously that was a big loss to them, and what a great player he's proved, for Liverpool. But still, Jota isn't the same sort of mould of player that he is probably going to try and go out in this transfer window and maybe seem to get. And they've changed the back. I love watching Wolves last year.
Changed, haven't they?
The back three, they're the best team I've seen. It suits Cody. Cody hits passes and he's got himself in the England squad. They've changed the back three into a four. They don't look as
Why do you think he did that
level.
then?
I don't know. There was opportunities when there was injuries. And he said, well, OK, I've got a back four here. I'll stay with my experienced players. Then he had an opportunity, and I noticed that Bowley was left on the bench. He could have played a back three. I think he was trying to get some flexibility, maybe to get two up top, because Jimenez has been missed so much. That was his way of making up for Jimenez, is to try and get two strikers up there. It hasn't worked. As simple as that. They just don't look the same Wolves to me that are creative. I love the lad Neto. I think he's going to be sensational. He's only a young lad, but they're not functioning like they were last season.
There's just been that slight sense of stagnation, hasn't there? Rather than kick on in a way that you would have expected, given how good they were last season and the kind of potential within the squad and the club, that almost the injury and then the sale of Jota has basically hasn't allowed them to just make that next step, and it's left Nuno kind of trying to figure things out and trying to get that jolt elsewhere. That hasn't really happened yet.
They've just recalled Catrone as well, haven't they? And they've got, as you mentioned, Pedro Neto. They've got Podence in the side as well. Traore, who's looked electric when he has played, but I think he's got a little bit of an injury doubt ahead of this one. Whether he plays or not will be left to see. But have they got enough in those forward players to find a way to score the goals, Miguel?
It feels like there's a lot of creativity and potential, but not much actual cutting edge or finished product. That's almost what it comes down to. Because you feel there's so much to be unlocked there, and Nuno hasn't really he's still kind of trying to find that solution.
I think also some of the players that have been thrown in, Nuno's bought 2 or 3 players for the future, and he's had to use them players at the moment, and that's a big difference.
Silva being one.
Especially, you can throw a couple of youngsters in for 1 or 2 games maybe, but not for 3, 4, 5 games and become consistent. And I think that's frustrated him. But he has got good offensive players. But for me, it's how they used to get the ball through to them players. That service has stopped. Moutinho is a terrific player, but he's another year older. His legs, he has to have a 3 in that midfield to play Moutinho. If he plays in there with a 2, he gets outnumbered. He hasn't got the legs to deal with the defensive side. So he's got some real sort of permutations here and problems to sort out.
So West Brom, how does Big Sam stop them conceding so many goals? They've conceded the most goals in the Premier League. We've seen them defensive against Man City under Billets. Then we've seen Big Sam go to Anfield, do exceptionally well, get a draw. How now does he turn those defensive displays against Leeds? They got hammered, didn't they? How does he now go to a team so defensive to stop conceding goals and hurt teams on the counter-attack with not really those players?
Well, I think the problem is, Rob, there is a lot of these goals that you see, that they're actually unforced errors. They're mistakes from individuals. Now, Sam can't go out there and defend that for them. He can only work as a unit. He'll go probably into a 5 and make them very, very difficult, like they did at Liverpool. I don't see that they're going to get, they're going to get out of trouble winning 3-2 and scoring loads of goals. The only way they're going to get out is to, I've never seen a system like that. He played 6-4-0 first half. It was 6-4, nobody up front.
Yeah.
And it was like, it worked for him. He held on till half time, and then he said, right, then they put 1 up front, and they looked really good, actually. They could have won the game on the break. So whether he's going to think about, 1 up top, 5 at the back, and we're going to work as a unit to defend and get that clean sheet, they will only get out of trouble if they win 1-0s. They're not going to win 3-0 or 3-1s. So he's got to actually say, it's going to be a back 5, You're going to, your wing backs are not going to be attacking wing backs. You're going to be more a back than a winger when you come with a wing back. So we're going to be nice and solid, and then it's up to the guys to take the 1 or 2 opportunities. You've got to take them. And at Liverpool, they had probably better chances.
Even if it does go for that, do you think they have enough quality in the long term to keep that many clean sheets?
No. No, to be honest, I don't think they've got enough at the other end to score with that ratio of chances that they might only make.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think they've got a wonderful goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper, Sam Johnson, could be the reason if they do stay up, a miracle, could be down to him, because at the moment he's having to make 5 or 6 saves a game.
Yeah.
It's still a largely championship squad though, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
All right, well, we'll get your predictions for this one a little bit later on, as well as